Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. All things Middle Earth here with some pretty big news we just got from the devs on some potential changes coming to healing in the game, as well as some other details I want to cover. I will say we actually talked about this in our last video. Last week, I made a video talking about things we need changed. Is it a coincidence that now 2 videos in a row that we've suggested changes, we've gotten confirmation those things are happening?
Coincidence? I think not.
It probably is a coincidence, but let me have it. And I mean, honestly, you should subscribe. You should like these videos because who knows? You never know which ones are going to make their way to the devs and we might get some changes we actually like. So anyway, all that out of the way, I want to look at this change. I want you guys' feedback on what this could mean and what I think the devs need to do if they are making these changes. As always, link down below is my top-up link. So if you are spending and want to support the channel, feel free to use that at no extra cost to you. It's actually cheaper in some regions and it supports the channel. Let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, this post is in the main Discord. I will link it down below as well. So when you're down there using the top-up link, you can also check this out if you want to. And this is the main post, the skill adjustment notice that I really want to look at. There's also several posts on the new March system, which we've already covered in another video. So I'll link it up in the top right of the screen right now. But these are basically all the same things they've already talked about. It's just more confirmation that the new March system is happening. Again, there might be a few minute detail changes or things we weren't for sure on, but that change is still happening. When exactly, we don't have an exact date yet, but that's the 3 out of the 4 pictures are on the new March system and pictures and showing how things will work and lots of text. You guys know I'm a big fan of the text posts where they just flood us with text. But anyway, skill adjustment notice. It says, Dear Tacticians, after the version 2.0 update, the formations of armies on the battlefield and the coordination of commanders have become hot topics among tacticians. Again, a lot of words to say, hey, got some feedback on 2.0 since it's been out. After more than a month of research and experimentation, tacticians have come up with a variety of effective commander unit combinations with different armies standing out in different ways on the battlefield. People have been playing the game and figuring out what works. I'm summarizing because, again, seriously, devs, if you're watching, if you guys want to just start paying me to do this, I just think it's too much. This wall of text is a killer. Let me do like a summary version for you. It would make us all very happy. All right, during this period, I'll be serious now. During this period, we have also received feedback and suggestions from many enthusiastic tacticians. And it's like they just keep plugging in so many adjectives where it's just like, just tell us what's happening. And have at the same time, I'm sure someone's going to comment that and be like, the dude's upset that the posts are long and in the videos he's like ranting about it. I know, all right? I am what I am. We have at the same time discovered that there are certain combat situations and configurations in the current version that have failed to meet our expectations. They're not happy with certain things in 2.0. Number 1, most healing skills are underperforming compared to other types of skills in battle. You can say that again. We did our tier list. Let me pull this up really quick. And basically, if someone had healing, that was like almost automatically a lower rank for them because healing is so ineffective. We did the same thing. We just did our relic tier list, actually. Again, pause. I should just edit these in cleanly, but all right, it took me forever to find this. But again, if the relic item when we were doing our tier list had to do with healing, it almost automatically got put in the dustbin because healing is just not an effective thing right now. So yes, I would agree, devs, healing is underperforming very, very significantly. So it's not as effective as we anticipated when they are used in skill combos. Number 2, it says, we have identified issues with certain skills that grant buffs to other units triggering damage, healing, or other effects. These issues cause some skills to trigger the same effects on the same unit, resulting in a much higher trigger frequency than expected. This sounds like they're addressing the mounted combat or the mounted commander thing, where basically you run these mounted lineups with 2 commanders with ally, and then everything that whole formation does to just trigger that over and over and over again. And at least in PvE, even in PvP, it still puts out some impressive healing numbers. It's like the only one that's significant because it's like you're abusing the amount of frequencies of heals. So it sounds like they're addressing that and saying, hey, healing is not performing as we want, and the only healing that is performing as we want isn't performing as we want it to. So they're going to adjust that too. And lastly, the kind of important part, what they're going to do, we plan to conduct a commander design review in January, specifically targeting these issues. We're halfway through, so I hope they're already underway with this. Our plan is to associate healing effects with more commander stats to ensure optimal efficiency for healing skills. Currently, we will address anomalies in certain skills, effects caused by damage, triggering mechanisms. We aim to enrich the game's overall strategic gameplay experience in relation to commander development and selection, and we will continue to make efforts towards the goal. Blah, blah, blah. So from what it sounds to me, anything that has to do with healing that says anything about HP is very much underperforming. They want to adjust that, and I think they want to have a stat linked to it, like how focus affects the burn, poison, and focus damage dealt, how attack affects physical damage, whatever it is. I think they're going to associate healing with something. Now, what that is, I don't know. Is it going to be commander HP? That would make sense. Is it also going to be focus? That would kind of make sense. Will it be a combo? I don't know. They'll probably find some way to make it confusing. But at the end of the day, if that means that commanders that some of us have that have a lot of healing skills can actually be useful, I think that's good for the game. It also sounds like with them improving healing, they're probably going to adjust something like the ally medium unit build, because if they adjust this to be better, like healing will be better, and this thing abuses the amount of triggers you get, it would be literally broken. That's the way I'm choosing to interpret it. I don't know what you guys think, but again, healing changes are coming. No word yet on unit changes, because I feel like we have damage commanders, we have support commanders, and we have some healing commanders, and we have some troop buffing commanders. So that's the last thing I would love to see any word on. Again, someone like Sunend is a shadow of her former self. I don't think she should be as broken as she was, but even slight adjustments with troop stats, I think, make some of them more useful. And then all of a sudden, the meta potentially opens wide up. Now, the concern here also is, does this mean that damage commanders are going to be less effective? Are they going to change that? Are they just touching the healing commanders? I don't know. And it kind of, in closing, here's what I'll say. The more major the changes are, if they do something very drastic, like really reshuffling what the meta is, I absolutely think they need to do another equipment exchange and respect refund event for 30 days, because they're changing all this stuff to a player base that is already like trying their game that they've changed that people didn't want. And if people invested everything in damage commanders and then they shuffle things around and all of a sudden there's a new meta, or at least something's not as solidified, I think in good faith they need to bring that event back. Bring it back for 1 week and say, hey, for 1 week you can shuffle gear around. You can get the respect refund again to choose if you want to use a wider variety, because a lot of people just pour it all into damage commanders. So anyway, will they do those things? I don't know. I hope so. Devs, come on, don't let us down. Let's start the new year out in a good foot and get some changes that we all want. But that'll do it for this video. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.